Good evening. Welcome to the Laverne Library Board meeting. Tonight I call this board to order. We do have a quorum. We have a full quorum. And we need to approve the minutes of the November 14th, 2022 regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to accept as submitted.
I'll second.
We have a second. Thank you. Our first order of business tonight is to
Ms. Donna.
appoint.
We need to vote on that.
Oh, that would be nice. Okay. As you can see, I'm usually not on that end. So, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed. So our order of business tonight is first, a motion to appoint a library board chairman. Do I have any nominations?
I'll nominate Ms. Benton.
Our
Okay.
second.
We have a nomination and a second for Ms. Carissa Benton. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I oppose myself.
Okay, Ms. Benton is now our chairman. Thank you. And I'm sure you accept, correct?
I will accept.
Yes. All right, thank you. So now I turn this over to you for our second order of business.
All right, so we need to make a motion to appoint a library board vice chairman.
Make a motion to appoint Dr. Burgess.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, so we're going to welcome our new members. We have Leslie Ballard. We have Kayla, is it? Custer.
Yes.
And Lacey Lance. So welcome aboard. All right, so upcoming programs and events. Do you want to talk about those, Ms. Donna?
Sure, I would be happy to. Some of the upcoming ones that we would like to share with you all is Hobo Road Band, a little more rock and rollish, will be with us again on Saturday, March 25th from 1 to 2. There is a flyer in your packet that shows, and you are welcome to take that flyer. If you have a place that you can hang that, we would be happy for the advertisement. It is a member of our library staff, Joe Pfeiffer, and then Chris Mays, and then Daniel, another member of their band that plays. They played last month, and they did the stories behind the songs. It was very interesting and a lot of fun. So this time we're going to do a little more rock and rollish. Second thing I'd like to talk about is the Parks and Recreation Easter egg drive-through, and that will be at Veterans Memorial Park on Saturday, April the 1st at 10 until 11:30. There was another error, so that should be 11:30. The library always enjoys being a part of this event, and the Parks and Rec team gives out a wonderful baggie of goodies, of filled eggs, and the library is going to be giving away a chocolate bunny. And not just a chocolate bunny, it is an 8-ounce, half-pound chocolate bunny.
Wow.
And it's solid, and we're excited. So everyone loves chocolate. Book clubs. We have wanted to start a book club for so long, and we had tried a few years ago and just didn't go over quite as well as we anticipated. So our staff member, Beth Blassingame, did a survey and surveyed our public and the patrons to see if they would be interested in some book clubs. And I'm happy to say that we have 2 that we're going to be starting. If you will look at your flyers. They also, the public and the patrons, voted on the names. So the Better Off Read Book Club, which every time I read that, I say Better Off dead, but it's better off read. The book this time is Lessons in Chemistry by Bonnie Garmus. Our first meeting will be Monday, April the 17th at 5:30 p.m., and you can sign up at the circulation desk. We do have a couple of books that can be checked out, and this book is also on Libby. So anyone who plans on being a part of that book club can check those out. The second one is the Page Turners Book Club. The book is So Long, Chester Wheeler. This is a fairly new book by Catherine Ryan Hyde. It's going to be on Saturday, April the 22nd at 10:30 a.m. Again, sign up at the circulation desk, and we do have hard copies that are able to be checked out. We were able to get a great deal at Amazon. Each book was $8 a piece. So we bought several copies so that people can come in and check those out. They are ready to circulate. So anyone who's interested, come sign up or call the library for more information. We are having Laverne High School Day again at the library. The library assistant has reached out to me, and we are currently in the planning stage. This will be on Saturday, April the 29th at 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. We will have local authors that will be there doing book talks, able to sell their books. We'll have story times by the high schoolers, puppet shows. There'll be book talk displays, face painting, and a lot of other fun stuff. So we'd love for you all to join us for that day. More information will come out as soon as we have all the planning completed. Okay.
All right, moving on. It looks like we've got some April and May closures. So the library will be closed on Good Friday, which will be Friday, April the 7th, and then on Saturday, April the 8th as well. And then Memorial Day weekend, they'll be closed Saturday, May 27th, and Monday, May 29th. Some much-needed holidays for our staff.
And I would like to explain to those of you who are new to the board, for our closures, when we have a weekend like that, because the library is open usually on Saturdays, we take the city holiday and then we take one other day as a regular day off, so that the city is not paying for that second day, but our staff are able to have a good weekend to maybe go visit relatives, things of this sort. So when you see RDO, that is a regular day off that they are taking.
All right, so now we're moving on to review the draft of the proposed 23-24 budget.
All right, this is hot off the press. I met with Tanya Williams, our finance director, and Phyllis Rogers this afternoon, our former finance director, and we were able to go over the budget and to look to see if there were any changes that need to be made. Generally, the library is pretty cut and dry. We have such a great budget that we are so pleased with what we have. And then the city is always so willing to help us out with some capital projects or some little things that we need to do, such as we had our roof fixed a couple of years ago. We had to get a new HVAC system. We had, if you'll skip on down, we're just going to kind of skip around, but I know this is one that the mayor is interested in. Book drop. We had that book drop ready to go 2 years ago, but we had not had the concrete put down. The concrete did not get laid until this budget year, so our book drop had been pushed back. Then when I went to order the book drop, the one that we need is out of stock. And so we are getting the one size outside book drop that you can put videos in up at the top, and then you can also put in books. What they had were the double and triple size, and we just didn't need that big. So I'm keeping a watch on it. Hopefully it will come back in stock before this budget year is over, and if it does, if we have some remaining budget, we will go ahead and get that. If not, we went ahead and put it on our budget for 23-24. And we put that under small items of equipment. We usually have that at about $2,000. The book drop I'm looking at is about $5,000. So that's the reason we had a change there. Mayor, I'm going to ask you, would you prefer for me to go straight down so that everyone or just skip around a little bit?
I would just cover your main items, because the top portion of this is predominantly employee driven. So you've got salaries, hourly, health insurance, retirement, which that, increases each year as you continue on with seasoned staff. Whenever you get down to your other areas such as travel, books, audio, video, CDs, that sort of stuff, that's where there's more margin to move back and forth.
Thank you. Yes, we kind of start at 148. Most of those are still all the same. We have jump on down to 313, where it says books. We generally have a budget of $50,000. If you can see, the forecast and the actual was lower throughout the year. We are going to stick close to $50,000. We're going to go to 47. We put that $5,000, and I'll explain why it's $5,000. We put $3,000 from that toward the book drop. And then on down on 314, it was just audiobooks. Currently, we are seeing that our CD audiobooks are just not going anymore. It's becoming similar to a dinosaur. And so we are slowly moving away from purchasing those. We left it as audiobooks, and then we also added electronic audio in, because our e-audios are what we're truly focusing on at that time. So on line 314, we may spend maybe $1,000 on audiobooks, because we still have a few people who enjoy them. And then the rest will go toward the e-audios. Does that make sense? Okay, great. And then on our books, 313, we have it books, and then it should be /ebooks, because we also will be pulling ebooks from the 313 along with 233, which is our subscriptions. Because a lot of ebooks, you only get them for a certain amount of time or a certain amount of circulation, and so that is similar to a subscription. And that's where we've been taking a lot of our e-products from. So we'll be pulling e from 233 and 313 and 314. Our videotapes, we did have at 4,500. If you notice in the forecast, there was a forecast that we were going to spend or get up to 3,276. The reason for that is we get so many donations. The mayor, we have teased him that we need to name the DVD area the Mayor Jason Colwing, because he donates so many of our hard DVDs for us. And a lot of people do. They'll get the DVDs to pull the code for the streaming, and then they'll donate the DVD to us, which is great. We get a lot of new releases this way. So very excited. So we dropped that down to 2,500, and we put that extra into 312 to help take care of a book drop. Again, if we get the book drop this year, then we'll play with this and move the money around really well again, and then do a budget amendment. We did go ahead and increase the programs from 20,000 to 20,800. programs are our driver to get patrons in. We have some fantastic programs, not just in the summer, but throughout the year, and a lot of adult and teen programs along with children programs. At the end of today, when we finished going over the budget, I went in with a budget of $972,000. I'll give it a moment. All right, here we go. $972,800. And then when we finished with moving everything around, we came back out with $972,800. So felt very good about that. At this point, we are not asking for any capitals. I haven't had an opportunity to really talk with some different people. And Mayor, do you see any capitals that in your line of sight?
Not that I'm aware of with the library, just couple of minor things that you already know about.
Okay.
That we're working on from the storms.
Right. Very good. One thing that we're doing are playaways, which I think is very, very great. We'll have those by the end of this budget. We are very fortunate that we now have a new roof. We have new carpet. The inside building has been painted. The outside of the building was painted. This was done like in a 5-year period. And the building is in really good condition. When our insurance agent came through the other day, he was looking and he was very proud of how well kept the building was. And that we take pride in that because we want our patrons and the public to come in to a nice building that they can call their home and enjoy and be comfortable there. Any questions about the budget?
Do have a question, it's not listed on here, but are you or Kamisha reaching out to both Bridgestone, Ingram, and Scholastic? I know they're all here. They all have a presence in
Right.
the city. About any donations towards the library. I know that Bridgestone specifically has a fund every year. The Senior Center gets a portion of it, and different groups do, but I would think Ingram and Scholastic would both be interested.
Right, and that's something that she and I will start working on. Bridgestone made a huge donation when the building was built. Of course, that was 20 years ago. So I feel like now is a good time to maybe reach out again. Ingram has dropped off books for us time to time, just different books that they had, just as giveaways. And so that's great. And Scholastic, no, we haven't. So we will. I'll put those three down, and we'll do that.
Okay.
Excellent.
I had a quick question. In my day job, I work for a company that provides and hosts employee training. It's a HR company, HR software company. So I immediately am looking at employee education and training. Can you share what type of offerings we have for the library employees as far as their own development?
Sure. We do a lot of webinars through PEP, which used to be, I cannot think of their name, but yes, we do webinars through them. I have sent a couple of them to some seminars that may be locally that doesn't cost a whole lot, but just the webinars mostly. And I have one staff member who is completing her bachelor's degree. She's doing that on her own, and then she also went through ALA, which offered a great e-learning course for a very small price. So we're looking at some more of the e-learning courses. And if ever you have any insight to that, I would love to know.
Absolutely. I'll keep my eyes open.
Okay, thank you. That would be great. Any other questions? Okay.
All right, moving on to our library board schedule for 2023. We have upcoming meetings on May 8th, July 10th, September 11th, and November 13th. Our next library board meeting is Monday, May 8th at 5 p.m. And do any of our board members have comments?
I've got a couple.
All right, Mr. Cole?
Just to let everyone know, from the storms that were last Friday, the library did sustain a little bit of damage. You can see the lip of the roof was lifted up. Our Parks and Rec and maintenance team have already reached out to a roofer about getting that repaired and filing the appropriate insurance claim for that. That was hopefully the only damage.
There were 2 places on the roof, and the roofer was out this afternoon. His men had completed and laid back down the biggest part. He was not aware of the one that was facing the parking lot. So when he came out, I showed him that, and he said they would be out tomorrow or Friday to get it completed. But the front part is already repaired and ready to go.
Was that from just wind damage, or was that from?
It was wind damage the day that we had that terrible wind, and we ended up with no electricity and had to close the library early. But you could see it was the ridge cap, and it was just lifting up, and then it eventually just stayed up. And he said they got it all screwed back down, and everything is in place on that side. The one on the parking lot side was not as severe, but they're going to take care of that. But that's all the damage that I could see that we had done.
And then you've got a new employee, Danny.
Yes, Danny Anderson has started with us today. Very excited. He has quite a bit of library experience, and he came in just happy and ready to go. So we're excited to have him on board with us. I think he's going to be a pleasure to work with, and he's going to be a very helpful person to our patrons.
Last one for me is, and I don't know if anybody else needs it, but can I get a copy of the bylaws?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
I will be happy to do that. If you would like for me to email them to you,
That's fine.
okay? And I will go ahead and email them to all of you.
Does anyone else have any comments? I'm just going to remind the community that if you've not been to our library, it is fantastic, and you definitely need to go by and visit, and make sure you're finding time to read with your family. Research shows that 20 minutes a day of reading just fixes everything, so
Absolutely.
so continue to read. All right, anything else? All right, I will call this meeting adjourned.